In Indian fertility clinics, couples often sit in silence, staring at a semen analysis report that carries a heavy, devastating word: nil. In our society, male identity is so deeply tied to fertility that seeing a zero sperm count triggers a profound psychological crisis. Men frequently withdraw from the medical process entirely, swallowed by an immense and isolating shame. This single piece of paper frequently leads to the assumption that a man can never father a biological child. In reality, that conclusion ignores several advanced medical possibilities. To understand why, think of it this way. A zero count in a semen cup indicates that the delivery trucks are not arriving at the final destination. The factory itself may still be manufacturing the goods at full capacity. A nil result serves as a diagnostic roadmap, pointing doctors toward the specific tests needed to find the hidden cause. The formal medical term for this condition is azoospermia. However, a single standard lab test cannot confirm it. Doctors follow a strict golden rule. They must see exactly zero sperm under a microscope on 2 separate occasions, spaced weeks apart. The required protocol places the sample into a centrifuge, spinning at 3,000 revolutions per minute for 15 minutes. This intense force drives hidden microscopic cells to the absolute bottom, identifying profoundly low numbers that standard technicians simply missed. If the concentrated bottom of that tube is completely empty, the clinical algorithm activates. The investigation now splits into 2 distinct biological pathways: a physical blockage or a factory failure. This diagram isolates the 18-inch vas deferens. In obstructive azoospermia, testicles produce millions of robust sperm daily, but exits are completely sealed. Genitory urinary tuberculosis, prevalent across India, leaves severe scar tissue, creating concrete-like roadblocks. Previous untreated infections cause identical blockages. Another cause is a genetic condition known as CBAVB. In these cases, a man is simply born without these transport tubes entirely, despite having perfectly healthy, fully functioning testicles. For these obstructed cases, the medical solution is straightforward and highly optimistic. Urologists use a minimally invasive procedure called PESA, or percutaneous epididymal sperm aspiration. Using a tiny, fine needle, the surgeon passes through the numbed skin directly into the epididymis, the coiled storage structure on top of the testicle, and gently suctions out the fluid. Within minutes, this yields millions of healthy sperm. Because the sperm are perfectly healthy and simply trapped by a physical barrier, surgical retrieval offers an exceptionally high success rate for couples trying to build their family. The second pathway is non-obstructive azoospermia, or NOA. This presents a much more complex clinical reality. Here, the delivery tubes are wide open, but the testicle factory itself has largely shut down. Often, families dismiss childhood viral infections, like mumps, as a routine fever and swelling of the jaw. But these viruses can aggressively travel down to the testicles in young boys, permanently destroying the fragile stem cells responsible for future sperm production. Doctors look for specific physical warning signs of this factory failure. If a scrotal ultrasound accurately measures a testicular volume of less than 15 milliliters, it strongly suggests severe failure, because the organ physically shrinks when the sperm-producing tubes collapse. This diagram shows the body's hormonal distress signal. An FSH level above 7.6 indicates the brain is screaming at testicles to work, but damaged tissue cannot respond. A blood test might also reveal a Y-chromosome microdeletion, where essential genetic codes are missing entirely. For men facing these factory failures, standard extractions will not work. They require a highly specialized, aggressive daycare surgery called Micro-TESE. In this procedure, a trained reproductive urologist opens the testicle and uses a high-powered operating microscope to meticulously hunt through the failing tissue, searching for tiny, isolated pockets of active sperm production. Even in severely damaged testicles, small islands of functioning tissue often survive. Advanced microsurgery can locate the few precious hidden sperm required to begin a pregnancy. Once a sperm is successfully retrieved, there is a critical clinical limitation. Surgically extracted sperm are generally too weak or immature to swim up the female reproductive tract on their own. This video shows the mandatory laboratory pairing for these retrieved cells, a highly advanced procedure called ICSI, or intracytoplasmic sperm injection. A single viable sperm is physically picked up in a microscopic glass needle and injected directly into the absolute center of the mother's egg. Because the sperm is manually placed inside the egg, its natural swimming speed is completely irrelevant. An embryologist only needs to find one living sperm with an intact DNA core for every one egg retrieved from the female partner. Pairing surgical extraction with laboratory injection alters the math of male fertility. It shifts the biological requirement from millions of fast-swimming sperm down to just a single, carefully rescued cell. Tragically, out of fear and shame, many Indian men diagnosed with a zero count spend hundreds of thousands of rupees on unproven Ayurvedic or herbal count-boosting powders. No herbal powder or specific diet can dissolve concrete-like tuberculosis scar tissue blocking a transport tube. Similarly, dietary supplements cannot replace missing genetic code on a Y-chromosome. Wasting time on these unscientific myths drains family savings and depletes the wife's most critical reproductive years, while the couple waits for an impossible cure. If you receive a semen analysis showing 0 sperm, consult a specialized andrologist or reproductive urologist immediately. Only they can run the required physical exams and hormonal blood panels to determine if the cause is a physical blockage or a production failure. Advanced reproductive science treats a nil report as a specific medical hurdle, one that is bypassable with the right surgical expertise.